Welcome to Module 3, Lesson 3, that discusses the USDA Food Buying Guide for Child Nutrition Programs. This lesson will also explain how to use the Food Buying Guide to complete the CACFP Food Production Record long form. The Food Buying Guide lists how many servings are in foods as purchased. With this information, you can calculate how much food must be purchased to meet meal pattern requirements for the projected number of people to be served. On state agency reviews, the amount of food recorded on the food production record is checked against the Food Buying Guide to determine whether adequate amounts of food were prepared. If your center has been on CACFP for several years, the center may have a hard copy of the Food Buying Guide that looks like this. The Food Buying Guide is no longer in print, but is available in an interactive format at this website. A Food Buying Guide mobile app is also available for download. This tool provides quick access to food yield information to help you make quick purchasing decisions from your mobile device. The remainder of this presentation will cover the online interactive Food Buying Guide and completion of the Food Production Record long form. When you go to the online interactive Food Buying Guide for the first time, you will have to create a profile or log in as a guest user. If you want to save items to a favorites list or analyze recipes, you must create a profile. If you log in as a guest user, select Childcare as the organization type from the drop-down menu so the information provided is applicable to your organization. Near the top of the screen is a green menu bar. Under Home is a drop-down menu that lists What's New, About the Food Buying Guide, and Resource Center. The Resource Center includes the meal patterns and tables. The Help You Use This Guide selection explains how to use the tables. Select Figures to find visual templates to find can sizes by their height and diameter. The next item on the green menu bar is Meal Components. The Food Buying Guide is divided into sections for each meal pattern component, including meat or meat alternates, vegetables, fruits, grains, and milk. If you click on a component, a menu will appear to select topics with important information about the component. There is also a section for other foods that are not creditable. Even though an item is not creditable, it is useful to know how much of certain items to purchase, such as salad dressings, butter, condiments, and pancake syrup. It is also helpful to know that foods in this section are not creditable. For example, since bacon and cream cheese are found in the other food section of the Food Buying Guide, you know they are not creditable as meat or meat alternates. The next item on the green menu bar is Food Items, which we will come back to. Next is Tools. You must have a profile and be logged in to use this option. The drop-down menu includes the Recipe Analysis Workbook, or RAW. Select My Recipe List, or Create Recipe Analysis Workbook, or Create RAW to get started. Click the instructions included on the web page to learn more. The next item on the green menu bar is Appendixes. The drop-down selections include A. Recipe Analysis Workbook, B. Using Additional Information column of the Food Buying Guide Yield Tables, C. The USDA Child Nutrition Labeling Program, also discussed in Module 2, D. The Food Purchasing Process, E. Grain, Bread Component, and F. Resources. Stop the video to take a moment to explore any of the topics of interest in the appendixes. The next item on the green menu bar is Help. Items in the Help drop-down menu include a user guide, a basic training video, Contact Us, and Frequently Asked Questions. Stop the video to take a moment to explore any of the topics of interest under the Help menu. Now let's go back to Food Items on the green menu bar and learn how to look up foods in the Food Buying Guide. To find a food, first click Food Items, then Search. A screen will appear where you can enter keywords. To filter the search, select from the drop-down menu under the meal component and category. The search results will appear on the screen arranged in columns. An explanation of the columns can be found under each meal component in the green menu bar and in the manual. Each food component section of the food buying guide is laid out in the same way with 6 columns of information. The column titles are slightly different between the hard copy of the food buying guide covered in the manual and the online interactive food buying guide. Both provide the information needed to complete the on-site food production record long form. Pause the recording now and find the on-site food production worksheet record long form in the manual. The information you will need to complete columns 1, 2, and 3 of the food production record will come from the food buying guide. We will look up canned green beans. The information to enter in column 1 includes the name of the food as purchased. Find the description that best describes the food you are serving. Be sure to record the forms such as canned, fresh, dried, etc. If a food product cannot be located, use the item that most closely describes the product you use. Write the food to be purchased as listed in the food buying guide in column 1 of the food production record. Next, find the purchase unit such as pound, number 10 can, etc. For many foods, there are multiple options for purchase unit such as various can or package sizes. Find the purchase unit, pound, number 10 can, etc. that matches the product or that most closely describes what you purchase. Write this information from the food buying guide in column 2 on the food production record. Now find the servings per purchase unit. The number of servings will depend on the purchase unit and the planned serving size. To determine the correct servings per purchase unit to select, refer to the serving size you have planned for the food item, such as 1/4 cup cooked green beans for 3 to 4-year-olds at lunch. Record the servings per purchase unit in column 3 on the food production record. If the serving size listed in the food buying guide is smaller or larger than your planned serving size, the servings per purchase unit must be adjusted. For example, if the planned serving size is 1/2 cup fruit at breakfast, but the food buying guide serving size is 1/4 cup. The planned serving size is double the serving size listed in the food buying guide. Therefore, you will only get half the number of servings from the purchase unit as listed in the food buying guide. To find the correct yield, the servings per purchase unit from the food buying guide must be divided by 2. The planned serving size is determined by the meal pattern. Select the age with the most children at your center to determine the planned serving size. Circle this as the reference age group on the food production record and refer to the meal pattern to determine how much of the component must be served. Record the planned serving size in column 4 on the food production record. Again, if the planned serving size doesn't correspond to the food buying guide serving size, the servings per purchase unit must be adjusted as described in the previous example. The interactive food buying guide allows you to compare items and add an item to your favorites list if you have created a profile and are logged in. Now finish entering information on the food production record. Column 5 is the estimated number to be served. This is the maximum number of children, supervising adults, and volunteers expected to eat the meal. This number may vary somewhat from day to day and by meal. If multiple CACFP age groups will be served, follow the instructions how to combine age groups. Record the total number to be served in column 5. Column 6 is the amount to prepare. The food production record includes the instructions above column 6 and 7. The amount of food to be prepared is calculated by dividing the estimated number to be served, column 5, by the number of servings per purchase unit, column 3. Round the answer up to the next 1/4, 1/2, or whole number. Calculations must be in amounts that can be measured rather than decimals that cannot be measured, such as 1.17. For example, if you need 35 servings and the food buying guide says the yield is 10 servings per pound, divide 35 by 10. You would need to prepare 3.5 pounds. Be sure to round the answer up to the nearest 1/4, 1/2, or whole number, as calculations must be measurable. Let's discuss another example. If you are planning for 20 children, there are 12.8 1/4 cup servings per can of applesauce. Divide 20 by 12.8 to determine that you need a little over 1.5 cans. You can't buy half a can, so you would need to buy 2 cans. On the food production record, be sure to record 2 cans or the amount you actually served, not 1.5625 cans. Again, the amount recorded should be measurable. The amount to prepare should be used to plan shopping trips, taking into consideration the amount of food on hand and followed when preparing the meal. If the estimated number to be served changes significantly, redo the calculations and adjust the amount to prepare so you have enough food and not too many leftovers. Lesson 6 shows how to use an Excel food production record workbook that does the calculations for you. Column 7 is the amount prepared. Enter the amount actually prepared, which may be more than the required amount. For example, if 2.75 cans are required, you will open 3 cans. There is also a column on the food production record for comments such as food temperature, amount of leftovers, or see and label information. This concludes Lesson 3. Continue on to Lesson 4 to learn how to use the Food Buying Guide calculator, an online tool that will simplify the task of calculating amounts to enter on the food production record short form.